If you've ever sat around for 10 minutes just staring at a sprue, if you've been pretty sure that GW didn't even put number 32 on there, this is the video series for you. This is the inaugural build hammer. I figure this is the best way to show the build guides, to show the sprues, and all the pieces location on the sprue. I'm hoping that this can help alleviate some of the hunting and pecking. Let's go build, and let's get you to the fun parts, the painting, and the playing.
What's up, guys? We're going to start off real easy. We're going to do the Terminator Captain. We're going to start off with A14, A13, and A12. This is going to be the assembly for the main torso and one leg. Coming over to the sprue, we've got A14, A12, and A13. This will all stack together and give you that main portion to build off. From there, it's going to be the right arm. It's going to be A15 and A16. Over on your sprue, A15 is right here, and A16 is the center pauldron. As you can see, that's going to go on, and you're going to be a little bit limited because you've got this little tilting shield right here, and that's pretty much got to be pressed up against the chest. So unless you want to cut that off and glue it, you're going to be pretty stuck as far as the pose of that arm. Going down to 1B, we're going to be working on the left arm. This is going to have a separate assembly for the bolter. Then it's going to be attached to the left side with the A17 shoulder pad. So coming over to your sprue, we're looking for A19, A18, and then this one with the emblem on the shoulder, A17. That'll all stack together to give you this side right here. Once you've completed the arms, you're going to want the head and both legs. A20 is the head, that's down here. And then you come up for the legs, they are together on the sprue, pretty easy to find. Once you got that complete, your Terminator Captain is finished, and it's just time to get him on the tactical rock. That tactical rock, in case you missed it, is right here. And that's it, guys. That is the first character from the Leviathan box. These characters are going to be a little bit easier. Once we get into the squads, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to find those pieces, but this is a really good warm-up. Moving on from there, we've got the Librarian in Terminator armor. What we're going to start out with is B1 and B3. That's these two sections right here. This is going to build your legs and a little bit of the upper body. Then attached to that upper body, we're going to add B5, the head, and B4, B2. Those are going to be your shin guards. They are here, here, and the head is over here. Once you got that done, you can move on over to this step. This is going to be B6 and B7. This is building the front and the back of that Terminator armor, so your Librarian can stay nice and safe. Those pieces are right here, and then the front is over here. Moving down to 2 Bravo, we're going to be building up the left arm. That's going to consist of B8 and B10. B10 is the small hand right here. Just be careful when you're clipping that off to keep all the digits intact. And that is going to get mated up to B8, right below it. Once you got these two complete, you can go ahead and attach B9. That's the left side of the bolter. Once that's assembled, you can go ahead and attach it to the left side of that torso. Moving on from there, it's time to get his force weapon built. That is going to be B12. That's going to go on to a section that is already intact. It's that right upper arm. So all you need is this piece right here, and it will then attach to this piece right here with this peg. In addition, we're going to be doing B11. This is B11 up here. It's a very decorative shoulder pad. And that concludes that step. Moving down to 2C, we're looking for B13 for the right shoulder pad, and B14 for a little bit of base decoration. 13 is right here, and just above it is 14. And that's the second model complete. Moving on from the Terminators, it's time for the Apothecary Biologis. We're going to grab this sprue. One of the things you can kind of use to identify it is these two bases. It looks a little bit different from some of the other sprues. Once you got that sprue, we're going to be working mainly in this upper left section. We'll be starting off putting together C2 and C3. This is going to form the leg that is then going to attach to C1. And then after that, we'll attach the head, C4, prior to putting the back on. Coming over to the sprue, you're going to be looking for C2 and C3. Once your leg's completed, you're going to go ahead and come down here to C1, grab this one. It's a little bit outside of your square, but that's where you're looking for it. Then you can come up here and grab C4 and go ahead and put that into the neck of C1. We're going to need to do that prior to installing this back plate. Once you got that head installed, you can go ahead and come over here and you can get C5. This is the back plate. Then moving over from there, we're going to be dealing with the right leg. That right leg is made up of C6 and C7. C6 is in the top corner and C7 is directly below it. Once that right leg is installed, we're going to come down to 3 Bravo. This is going to be C8 for the right arm and C9 for the backpack. We got C9 down here. This is the backpack that will then attach right here on that section. And then the pistol is C8 right up here. After that, we'll be looking at the left arm. This is going to be made up of 2 sections. It's C10 and C11. These are fairly identifiable because of the large oblong cylinder that he's carrying right here. Once you got those 2 assembled, you can go ahead and put that onto the left side of the body. And at that point, your Biologis is complete, and you're just going to put it onto C12 and onto the base. To get the lieutenant started, we're going to grab 14 and 13. Once you've assembled the head onto the back, you can come down here and you can get 15. This will be the front torso, and this will close in around the head. Now that we got that assembled, we can go ahead and get C16 and C17. One of the dead giveaways for C16 will be the combat knife down here. Then you can come over here and get C17. This will be installing the left arm and the right leg. Once you got those on there, you can go ahead and grab the backpack C19 and the right arm C18. C18 is right here, and C19 is right here. After that, you get his little tactical rock C20, and that is it. Your Lieutenant and Phobos armor is complete. After that, you just install them on the base, and you're done. Alrighty, now that we got the characters done, it's time to move on to the Sternguard Veterans Squad. We'll be starting out at step 5. This is going to be C23, the front torso, C21, the head, and 22, the back. Again, make sure to put this head in before you close up the front and the back, unless you plan on cutting off the tab and giving yourself a little bit mobility in where he's looking. For the Sternguard, we're going to go back over that sprue we've been working on for both the Biologist and the War Veteran. This is going to be the bottom left section. We're going to start out with, again, 22, 23, and 21. Once that body's together, you can go ahead and come back, grab your right arm with the pistol and your little tilting shield. That is 24 and 25. After that, we're going to be looking for 26 and 27. 26 is the combi weapon right here, and 27 is your backpack with the iconography up top. After that, go ahead and grab your 32mm base, slap them down, and the first one is done. For our second Sternguard veteran, we're going to be going to step 6, and this will be C30, C28, C29. Same thing as above. If you want to, you can clip the head peg, or you can insert it and build it how they have it. For C30, you can be grabbing this torso right here. C28 is this head, and C29 is the back right here. After that, you'll be looking for the left arm, C32, as well as the left leg, C31. C31 is this leg right here with all the pouches up top, and C32 is right over here. From there, we're going to get C33, this is his bolter, and C34. That bolter, 33, is right here, and then C34 is the backpack that is directly next to it. For your third veteran, we're just going to move right over to the right, over to this section of the sprue. First things we're going to be looking for in 7 Alpha are C42, C44, and C43. For the left leg and the back, you've got C42 right here. For the front, C43. And then for the right leg, C44. Once you got this together, you're going to be coming over here and looking for C41 and C45. C45 is your chest piece right here. C41 is your head right here. Again, remember to put that head in prior to putting that chest piece on if you want to use the peg. After that, we're going to be doing the left and right arm. This is going to be C47 and C46. C47 is right over here, and C46 is up here. And then the only thing left is to put the backpack on. That is C48 right here. Moving on to the 4th Sternguard Veteran, we're going to Step 8. This is going to include C37, C35, and C36. On your sprue, this is C36, C35 your head, and C37. Once you've got that torso and head put together, we're going to be looking for the left and right arm again. In this case, it's C39 and C38. C39 is your bolter up here, and C38 is the supporting arm. Once those are together, we'll go ahead and put his pack on. That is C40. And that is the 4th veteran complete. For the 5th and final veteran, we're going to be going over to Step 9 Alpha, and we're going to be taking a trip back up the sprue, back up to where that Phobos lieutenant was. We're going to start off with C51, C49, and C50. This is C51. This is C50. And the head is over here, C49. Now that we got that torso together, we're going to go ahead and add C52. This is his left leg. And then we'll move over and grab C53. This is the support arm. After that, we're going to move over to his heavy bolter. You're a little bit locked into the positioning on here because you can see that it has to connect to the pack. So you're pretty much tied into this single pose unless you want to do some heavy modification. For the heavy bolter, we're going to be looking for C54 and C55. It's going to be these two sections up here. This is just the left and right side of that heavy bolter. Once you got that assembled, you can go ahead and come over to C56. That's his backpack. It's the piece directly next to that heavy bolter at the top of the sprue. Once you've assembled that, once you've done that, you're complete with your 5th and final Sternguard Veteran. Alright, now we're coming to the fun stuff. I'm assuming that these Terminators are what most returning Space Marine players are really looking forward to. Upscaled and looking great. They are split across 2 different sprues. And starting with 10 Alpha, you'll need the smaller of the 2 sprues. You're going to be looking for D2 and D1. D2 is right over here, and D1 is this section right here. This will give you the entirety of the torso, and then you'll attach that to the legs, D3, and then add the left arm, D4. Those legs are right here, the ones that look like somebody got smacked by a Melta. And then, in order to find D4, you're going to have to grab your second sprue and come right down to this corner. That's your D4. Moving on from there, we're going to work on the Storm Bolter. This is his right arm, and it consists of D6 and D5. D6 is directly next to his power sword. It's this piece down here. And then for D5, we got to jump back over to our other sprue. And D5 is located next to the legs that you clipped out. After you've got that arm assembled and attached, you then have an option for either D8, a helmeted head, or D7, a bear head. D7 is this bear head right here, and D8 is this helmeted head directly next to the Storm Bolter that you just assembled. And with that complete, you have now assembled your first Terminator. Moving over to 11 Alpha, we're going to jump right into the second one. The first pieces we're going to be looking for are D9 and D10. Those are back over on your second sprue for the Terminators. And those are these 2 pieces right here. That's just the front and the back. Once you got those together, you're going to be looking for D12 and D11. These are the greaves, the front of the leg, and they are these 2 pieces right here. Once you got those 2 things popped on, we're going to jump over to the arms. This is going to be a Storm Bolter and a Power Fist. For the Storm Bolter, we're going to be looking for D15 and D16. They are located directly next to those 2 lower leg portions you were just working on. Here is the right side of the Storm Bolter, and here is the arm and the left side of the Storm Bolter. Once you got that assembled, you can go ahead and slap that right arm onto the body, and we'll jump on over to the Power Fist. For the Power Fist, you're going to be looking for D13 and D14. Those are again co-located with the pieces you've just been working on. D14 is right here, and D13 is right here. Once you've got those press fit together, glued together, whatever your choice is, you can go ahead and slap that left arm on. Once you got that power fist assembled, you can go ahead and slap it onto the left side of the body, and we will jump over to 11 Bravo, where we are looking for D18 and D17. D18 is this little bit right here. It just gets stuck down into the base. And D17 is the head that's right up here next to that power fist that you just clipped out. That completes your second Terminator. For your third Terminator, we're going over to 12 Alpha. This is consisting of D19 and D20 for the torso. D19 and D20 are co-located on your sprue. And once you got that done, we can go over to D21 and D22 for the legs. Those will be directly below what you were just working on. So these two pieces right here. Once you got those legs on, we're going to jump over to the arms. And for his Stormbolter, we're going to have to go back over to our other sprue. We're going to be looking for D35 and D36. And on this sprue, D35 is the main body on the left side here. D36 is the right side of the Stormbolter in that lower right corner. Then we can go for the right arm. That is going to be D33 and D34. D34 is up in the top left, and D33 is directly above the Stormbolter bit that you just clipped out. Moving on to the third Terminator, we're going to do step 12 Alpha. This is going to consist of D19 and D20, which are co-located on your sprue directly next to each other. It's these two sections right here. Then once those are assembled, we're going to go for D22 and D21. These are the lower leg sections, and those are directly below what you were just clipping out. After that, we'll go to the arms. For the Stormbolter, we're looking for D26 and D25. Those are directly to the right of the legs that you just cut out. And again, it's the arm assembly with the left side of the Stormbolter and the right side of the Stormbolter. After you've got that assembled, you can go ahead and slap it on the right arm of the Terminator. And then we'll move over to the left arm with the power fist, and that's going to be D23 and D24. That left arm, D23, is going to be just above your teleport homer, and D24 will be adjacent to the back that you cut out for this guy. Then once you got that assembled, you can slap that left arm on, and we'll go grab D27, which is the head, and that is directly down in the bottom left corner. That completes your third Terminator. Then for the fourth, we're going to be looking for D30, D29, and D28, so a little bit different for this one. And for this fourth one, we will jump back over to our smaller sprue. And on this sprue, you can find D28 right down here. His back is just to the right of it, D30 is over here. And then D29 is this leg over here. Once you got that assembled, we'll go for those lower leg portions again. And on this one, it is D32 and D31. D32 is right here, and D31 is in the top right corner over here. And after that, it's back over to the arms again. For the bolter on this one, we're looking for D36 and D35. 35 is back down in this bottom left corner, and 36 is in the bottom right corner. Once that's assembled and on, we'll move over to D33 and D34. That's for that left arm power fist. D34 is in that top left corner, and D33 is in the bottom right. Get those two together, put that left arm on, and then we will go over and look for D38 for the ground cover, and D37 for his helmet. D37 is up here next to that option head for the sergeant, and D38, his base little ground cover extra, is directly in the center of the sprue. And that only leaves us with one Terminator to go. That guy is going to be back over on the larger sprue. And at step 14 Alpha, we're going to be looking for D39, D40, and D41. These are arranged somewhat vertically. We've got D39 up here, D41 over here, and the right leg is down here. Then again, for the lower portions, we're looking for D42 and D43. Those are both going to be on the top of the sprue. One in the top left corner, and one top center. After you're done with those legs, we're going to start with the assault cannon. This is going to be D46 and D47. D46, the main body of it, is right here. And then D47 is this section Once you got that ammo can attached to the arm, you can go ahead and put that arm back onto the model, and then we'll move over to the power fist. D44, D45. D44 is right here, and then D45 is right here. Go ahead and slap that together, put that arm on, and then we will find D48 and 49. Those two are directly next to each other. 48 the head, and 49 the ground cover. And with that, your actual Terminators are done. The only thing that should be left on that sprue at this point is the teleport homer. Go ahead and grab that, clip it out, and put it on its base. Coming up next is the Infernus Squad. This is two sprues that are identical to each other. You've got a little bit of an option here on your sergeant. You can decide if you want him cross-drawing a knife or just throwing grenades. For this build up top, you've got E35 over here, and then in the bottom left corner, E31. If you'd like to do this setup, your option is then E30 and E31. Outside of this, we're going to do everything twice, so you may as well grab both sprues and just clip them at the same time and assemble them at the same time. It'll save you a lot of time in the long run. To assemble the sergeant, we're going to need 27, 34, and 28. 27 is the set of legs down here. 34 is this head right here. You've also got the option of the head of 29. Then E28 is right here. So once again, you need the legs, you need this gun, and you've got an option between these heads. Again, depending on how you want to build it, you got some options. Either way, you're going to need your backpack, that's E33. Then you have the choice between E36, your pistol arm over here, and E32 in the bottom left corner. This is a grenade hand. At this point, you should have two of those sergeants built up, posed however you wanted. From there, we're going to go down to step 18. And you'll note this is X2, so grab both sprues and just knock it out at the same time. We're going to be looking for E3 and E2. E3 is in the top right corner, and E2 is the head that's in the right center. Once you got those assembled, you can go ahead and grab E1. It's the back portion that's right here, and add that on. Then for his weapon, we're going to need E4 and the support arm E5. E4 is on the right side center, and E5 is directly below it. Then to round that off, we're going to come over here and grab E6, that's his backpack. And once that's done, you'll have two more Infernus Marines ready to go. Should be two of them because you should be doing this for both sprues again. Then moving over to step 19, our next Marine, again, X2, so from both sprues. It'll be E11 and E10. E11 and E10 are in the center right here. And once you've got those together, we're going to create this assembly and then put it into that E10, E11 assembly. So for this sub-assembly, we need E7, E8, and E9. E7, E8, and E9. Then once you've got that put together, you can go ahead and slide it into, again, that E10, E11 assembly that you've already got. Then we'll be looking for E13 and E12. That's his backpack and his support arm. The backpack is right here, and then the support arm is directly below it. And with that complete, that's two more Marines. We only got 4 to go. Going over to step 20, we're going to kick this off by finding E14 and E15. E14 is the arm in the upper left, and E15 is the body that's directly next to it. Once you've got those assembled, you can go ahead and grab E16 right here and put it on. For the arms, we're going to be using E17 for the weapon and E18 for the support arm. E18 is right here, and E17 is the vertical weapon in the center. Then once you got those done, E19 is the backpack, and that is 2 more Marines complete, 2 to go. For step 21, we're going to grab E22, E23. E22 and E23 are these 2 sections down in the lower right corner. Then once you got those complete, you can grab E20, the helmet, and E21. That'll be the helmet down in the lower right corner, and the body on the right side center. Once that sub-assembly is together, you can push those 2 pieces together, and that'll take us over to the arms, E24 and E25. E24 is right here, and then the support arm E25 is right here. And then the last part, E26, the backpack, is right here. And that's it. That is the Infernus Squad complete. Now we got the chunky boy. We got the Ballistus Dreadnought. This guy is comprised of 3 separate sprues, but luckily they're all pretty big pieces and pretty easy to recognize. To kick things off, we're going over to 22A. This is section F9 and F8. Those 2 pieces are right here, F8 and F9. Once you've got those clipped out, cleaned up and assembled, you can go ahead and look for F10 and F11. This is going to be the left leg of your dreadnought. That left leg is going to be directly across from the pieces that you just clipped. These are the front and the back of the dreadnought leg, and one thing to note here is that you want to install it around the ball socket. You want to clip it together so that that piece is already inside the leg, otherwise you're going to have a real tough time. Now that you got that one on, we're going to do the exact same thing for the right leg. That right leg is made up of F12 and F13. So these 2 pieces right here, clipping it on around the ball that's already on F9. Now that we've got our legs assembled, it's time to get the feet. We've got F14 and F15. F14 is on the current sprue. That's right down here in the corner. For F15, we're going to have to switch over and come to this sprue. You'll be able to identify this one mostly because of the big las cannon. Down in the corner below that las cannon is F15. This is your right foot. If you'd like to get a little bit creative with your posing on this, there is a little bit of play, but you're going to have to watch out for these pistons that connect the legs to the torso. If you want to play with the angle of the legs at all, you're going to have to adjust those, and then you'll have to clip these pegs and then adjust the feet. Moving on from there, we're going to get the front and the back shell, and we're going to clip it around the center post. For that, we're going to go to the 3rd dreadnought sprue. What we're going to be looking for here is F2 and F3. F2 is the front section with the guns, and F3 is the back section with the power pack. Again, you want to assemble this around the post that's already on your model. Once you've got that done, you can go ahead and set some of this armor over the front. This is section F1, and you can see it mates up directly over top. Once that armor's in place, we can move on. We're going to grab F4 and F5. These are going to attach on the rear of the model. And they are these 2 sections right here, the 2 coils. After those coils are installed, we're going to go ahead and grab F6 and F7. Those are these 2 sections up here, and they will be going on the back of the dreadnought on these 2 points. That finishes up the main assembly of the torso and the legs. After that, it's just assembling the weapons. We'll be starting off with the missile pod. This will consist of F17 and F18. They are on the top and the bottom. You can go ahead and sandwich these ones together. We're then going to add F16 and F19. Those are the 2 bits that are left on your legs section. That's the front and the back of the rocket pod. Front, back. In order to install your assembled rocket launcher, you're going to push it on vertically and then rotate it forward until it's 90 degrees horizontal. The only thing left to do is assemble the las cannon and get that thing on there. For that las cannon, we're going to be using F20 and F21. Coming over to your sprue, this is the only 2 parts left. The center section, as well as the gigantic las cannon. Go ahead and glue that armor onto the outside of the las cannon, and then similarly to the rocket pod, mount it facing upwards, and then rotate it 90 degrees forward. Once you got that on there, go ahead and find your base, glue it on, and your Ballistus Dreadnought is ready to hit the table. Take a couple minutes, look over your models, make sure you don't have any big mold lines showing. If you want to get rid of those, you can scrape them with the back of an X-Acto, back of your hobby knife. Past that, just wait for that glue to dry, and then you should be ready to prime it up and start painting. I hope that was helpful for you. I'll be making painting videos a little bit later on for all these guys. I'll also have the second half, the Tyranid half, coming out soon. So if you're interested in building those, hit subscribe, stay tuned. I'll have it out probably in a couple days.